Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
How America's trucks became inferior to Europe's.
American
these
trucks
trucks.
are the biggest, most badass heavy metal trucks on the planet. Look at this. Wait, pause. This truck isn't American. Actually, they're from Finland, y'all. For the past century,
Yes, in Europe, Finnish trucks are dominating. But at least used to be Volvo makes trucks.
nearly every
Yes.
form of freight transportation has gotten bigger. Longer trains, bigger ships, but trucks, well, trucks pretty much stopped growing since before I was born. American cabs have gotten huge,
I want to drive a truck.
but the actual freight portion is stuck in the last century. Now, I'm an economist. I'm not satisfied
How
with
up
quick
high
little
they put you?
How high? I don't exactly know how high, but you see these trucks, they're high.
explanation. I need to know why everything else is getting bigger, but not trucks in America. I propose that maybe we should be making big, badass American trucks even bigger.
I'm on a trail of a convoy.
I think because you can't turn if it's too long. You can't make the turn, the clearance on the turn.
I wonder how they're able to make the turns in Europe, because I always assume like Europe is like small roads, small cars.
Well, you see this truck right here? It's split in half. I think that's how.
What do you mean? Split in half.
You see there's a gap between the first. There's like two wagons. You see there's a
But the
gap in the
width
middle.
is like the same as the...
Yes, but since there's a gap, it kind of bends a little bit on the curve. Like when you turn it, there's a little bend.
But you're not understanding me.
Oh, okay.
The trucks are big. They're like wide.
The roads are not narrow necessarily. They're about the same. The parking spots are smaller, but the roads are, the regular car fit on the road.
Do the trucks go into the cities? Or do they have to like kind of go to a loading dock and then have the smaller trucks go in?
I think there's trucks that deliver within cities, and then there's like in between countries trucks. So I think those are two different trucks, yeah.
Runaway truckers.
Which we have the same here too. We have, the half a truck size, the 26 pallet one. Then we have I think 26 is the full size. And then we have 13, like the half a truck. So, the half a trucks do local deliveries, and the big trucks, the 26 pallet trucks, the 52 footers, they deliver across the states.
It's got a touch screen.
It blows my mind. I think it'll blow yours.
This is the only one of its kind here in the USA right now.
Most people can't drive stick now. I can.
Oh, that's right. It's thick. Why?
Why trucks are stiff? I don't know.
Thick.
Sticky. You know what's interesting?
What?
This video is so well done, and it's only 29K subscribers.
Oh, it's very niche.
I'm a little
We're with
confused.
the people.
Why? Because it's like
I
a high
think-
budget video.
I think the people who likes this have like long beards.
I shave my beard, so I guess
When I say truck, you probably think of this. In the US, we call them semi-trucks, referring to the semi-trailers not having front wheels. Across the pond, they're called articulated lorries, or Arctic for short. And you can trace them all
Lorries?
back to this Scotsman.
Yeah, they call trucks lorries in the UK. Yeah,
So what if her name is Lori?
she's a truck.
living in Cleveland, Ohio, before the turn of the century. The last century. Alexander Winton mostly made cars back then, and he wanted a way to transport his automobiles to the customers without putting miles on the odometer. So, the Winton Motor Carriage Company adapted a car chassis so that it could carry a trailer. Each trailer could carry one car. That's right, the first semi-truck was a truck. On that note, I want to know when we're going to get a truck. When the automobile industry first started taking off in the 1900s, trucks followed suit. By 1913, the first state-level weight regulations were imposed, up to 28,000 pounds in Massachusetts, about the weight of 2 African elephants. We continue to improve the technologies like this more efficient diesel engine. Pneumatic tires that could support more weight, braking and steering improved. There was this feedback loop. Better roads could support bigger trucks. Bigger trucks lowered the transportation costs. Lower transportation costs will increase the demand for road freight. Higher demand for road freight, more demand for better roads. But then, something big happened in the United States that led our trucks to get even bigger before they stopped growing altogether.
In this century, America has become a nation on wheels.
In 1956, Congress created the Interstate Highway System. For the first time, we built a big, long, wide highway network spanning a whole continent. This also brought the first federal weight limit to 73,000 pounds. Now we're up to 5.5 elephants.
Wow.
These open highways
Oh, so maybe it's the not difficulty in turning, but maybe it's the weight limit is why the trucks can't get any bigger.
Oh.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think of that.
I mean, you have to consider like the road.
No, I get it. Weight limit makes sense. I'm not
You
against
already
weight
get
limit.
potholes.
Right.
And then also there's a lot of checks.
Yeah. No, I'm not against it. I just didn't think about it, but that makes sense.
led to bigger trucks, which made trucking a more flexible competitor to rail freight. At the same time, a lot of World War II veterans became truckers. And so, by the 60s and 70s, we started to get trucker culture. Movies, music. By the way, notice anything about some of those trucks? Hold on to that observation. We'll get back to it. Things are about to change for American trucking regulation, and it's
What's the observation?
They're flat. You see?
Flat in the front?
Flat in the front, yes. That's how European trucks are. Nowadays, the American trucks, they're like, kind of have like a nose, like a beak.
a big reason why parts of Europe and Australia are eating our lunch.
It was announced today that gasless Sundays will go into effect as of next month.
In 1973, we saw our first big oil shock. Gas prices soared, fuel was rationed. President Nixon imposed a nationwide speed reduction to 55 miles per hour. By December, many truckers had had enough. This is J.W. Edwards, known on the CB radio as River Rat. And he's angry.
We're out of job, and these wheels are not rolling on these trucks.
The fuel rationing meant he had to stop over and over again at every single diesel station along the I-80. He was so angry that he got on his CB radio and announced he was blocking the highway. Word spread, and others joined in blocking the road. Among other demands, these protesters wanted to haul more stuff. It turns out it's more efficient to have one driver with one tractor pulling a larger load than splitting that weight between two separate trucks. So truckers wanted heavier trucks, and they were tired of a patchwork of different rules in different states. Finally, in 1982, federal regulations added 5 feet to the trailer limit and increased the standard weight limit to 80,000 pounds. But no bigger. The concern was that the trucks over 80,000 pounds would test the structural integrity of the nation's bridges. This added another half elephant. And for the past 40 years, trucks in the US have pretty much stayed all the same size. But there's another quirk from these new rules that's affected how trucks look today. Remember that clip from Convoy? The flat-faced cab-over style disappeared. After the law change, the cab no longer counted in the length rules, so drivers could stretch out. Let me show you something. Come with me to Florida.
Oh boy, let's go.
Time to go to Florida. You Sweden?
I am, you know. Truck show.
So much better than
American
the
truckers tend to
snow.
drive faster and go farther than their
Of
European counterparts.
course.
So they like these big
I'll roll
noses.
sleeves in
It
Florida.
isolates them from the noise and vibration. It gives them more room to live in their trucks. Hey, we have these big interstates, big cities. We have room for these trucks.
Oh, you gotta look at the mini fridge.
But here's what surprised me. The part of the truck for the driver has been growing for 40 years, but trailers have not. And that's where the money is. Don't
So
these
now
drivers
the
want to
trailer
haul
doesn't count. The front part.
Yeah, that doesn't count, yeah.
more?
Why are trucks this big?
Why are they this big to carry weight?
This is Andy Hollums. He sells Peterbilt trucks here in Florida.
How much weight are they hauling?
Typically it's 80,000 pounds, typically what they're pushing.
So the standard's 80,000. Wouldn't it be better if we could have a bigger standard? What if the standard was 160,000 pounds?
Yeah, you would think that, but it's federally mandated. I guess Congress could change that.
Is anybody in industry talking about that?
No, not that I know of.
Then I met a guy who really changed my view of American trucks and what they could be. This is Bruce Wilson, trucker, YouTuber, one proud owner of a 2025 Scania.
This is the only one of its
Oh,
kind here in the USA right
Steffi's.
now.
Bruce imported this beauty from Sweden himself, and he's taking it on
Oh.
tour trying to gin up interest so the company will start selling them stateside.
How are the Swedish trucks different from the American trucks? They're much further advanced compared to what we have here. Oh, really? There's a lot more competition in the
It
rest of the
looks
world. than we have here
light.
in
It
the
looks
US.
like very futuristic.
It definitely looks more modern. The American
Yeah.
trucks, they might be new, but the look, that big
Yeah.
nose just
It
looks
looks self-automated,
dated.
yeah.
It looks dated.
So what do they have that the American trucks don't have? Lots of safety, airbags. There's just lots of airbags in semis. Yeah.
American trucks don't have airbags?
No. Like Volvos have airbags in the steering wheel.
Okay.
That's it. There's no curtain airbags. There's nothing to protect your head.
I see.
Just the European standard of living, they actually care about their citizens. You know, I mean, not saying the U.S. doesn't, but like they want to protect more. That's why they have side skirts on the side of them for bicyclists. Sure. You have a really hard time running over someone with this truck.
Oh, and one more thing, this flat-fronted Scania has 170 more horsepower than the massive Peterbilt, which would come in handy because of something else Bruce told me.
Finland and Sweden just passed a new law allowing trucks to have 120-ton trucks, and they're like a 70-meter or something like that total length. Yeah.
So are the trucks the same size? They just allow a longer trailer, or
Trucks
is it
the same
different?
exact truck, they just add longer trailers.
Oh, it's interesting why Europe doesn't have the same concern for the bridges then. How
Yeah.
we like
You care about the safety.
because apparently the reason why we can't have bigger trucks is because of the bridges. That's what he said. That's interesting.
You might be surprised that Nordic countries are leaving us way behind when it comes to truck size. What with their medieval cities and narrow highways, the Scandinavian cozy or hygge aesthetic. But these trucks aren't hygge, they're huge. Finland spent decades studying truck sizes, producing multiple peer-reviewed analyses. They found, just as we learned in the 1970s, that bigger trucks are more efficient. While bigger trucks have to pay drivers a higher salary and spend more on fuel and repairs, when we look at cost per ton, the actual cost it takes to move a given pound of freight a given mile, we see significant savings from these high-capacity trucks compared to standard semi-trailers. Additionally, they're better on the environment. High-capacity trucks burn less fuel per pound per mile, lowering the environmental impact of transportation. Switching to HCTs lowers emissions by 33%. Plus, they're obsessed with safety. You'd think these big trucks would make us less safe. Finland also conducted safety tests. They hired dozens of cyclists on an indoor track being overtaken by these trucks. And the cyclists found that it was the distance and speed that mattered, not the length of the truck. They require their trucks to have multiple camera systems, advanced emergency braking, and lane departure warning. So, after all that research, in 2019, these beasts took the road. Under the new rules in Finland, maximum truck length grew from 82 feet to 113 feet. And the weight! Their maximum limit is now twice that what we have in the US, coming in at 167,000 pounds. So all trucks can handle that stuff at that size.
Even US trucks.
And they look great too. Now Denmark and Norway and the EU itself
They're
are looking to
getting
increase their truck sizes.
paid.
And even though places like Finland and Sweden put our trucks to shame, the place that puts their trucks to shame is Australia. Look at this thing.
That's a fucking train.
Yeah.
That's a train on wheels.
Yeah. Imagine if you're a driver and you just cut off something like this. Uh-oh.
Wow.
An Australian truck can be as long as 175 feet and weigh as much as 300,000 pounds. For those keeping count, we're now at 23 elephants. They're so long, they call them road trains. The Australians even hold multiple Guinness records. One tractor pulled 120 trailers.
Pulling 1,474 metres of road trade, the record was broken.
These road trains came about because Australia doesn't have as many train rail lines. They have one of the lowest population densities on the planet.
I guess it
Okay.
makes sense for Australia because, that desert, if you have to cross through that desert, you don't want to make a lot of trips. So might as well, if you're making one
Stack it
trip,
up.
yeah, we're going to get a lot of stuff on it.
And they need a way to move things like iron
They're
ore,
getting
fuel, and
paid.
livestock
Hey.
over these vast distances. But we have a big country. We also have open land. Have you been to Wyoming? So why are our trucks stuck at 80,000 pounds? Is there a lobbying effort? Are there people who want to talk about having bigger trucks?
I mean, not that I'm aware of.
The engine of economic prosperity is built upon increasing our labor productivity, meaning a single truck driver can haul more value than they used to. This grows the economy and we earn higher incomes. Remember how trains were getting longer? Since 1990, productivity has increased for trains 5 times more than trucks. And with trucks transporting 65% of our goods, this matters. There's a greater stagnation in the trucking industry, and this not only hits our economy, but also the environment. We have already lowered our highway vehicle pollution dramatically over the past 2 decades. There's more work to do. We could follow Finland. Our smart people could study how to increase truck sizes the right way, to not have our bridges fall down. It's solvable if we have the will. Over 2 centuries ago, the economist Adam Smith theorized that one of the keys to modern economic prosperity is to expand the size of the market. When the market expands, one store is able to sell to more and more customers. This increases competition, which lowers costs and benefits consumers. For example, take a small town general store. It's the only store in town, there's no competition, they can sell the monopoly price. But as rail expanded across the American continent, the first Sears catalog in 1888 created more national competition. Americans not only saw better prices, but had access to a wider variety of stuff. So too, over the past century, increasing truck capacity has expanded the market, lowering emissions, and thus improving our lives. This is the secret sauce to our modern prosperity. Bigger trucks are key. So what's fancy about a 20...
Wow, what an interesting video.
Well done.
He did a phenomenal job with this. Such a random topic that I had absolutely no knowledge on. But thinking about it, this could actually, reduce cost of goods at a lot. If you can, with the same truck, deliver more stuff. the cost of delivery per product will go down significantly. It's interesting that nobody's lobbying for this.
Yeah.
This is such a well done video.
What does that do overall? I mean, what do you think would be the reason why no one lobbies for it? They're okay with the status quo.
Status quo, yeah, everybody's just like, whatever, we good where we at.
Plus, now I'm curious if it also translates to the truck drivers making more money.
Well, they would make more money too. Yeah, because everybody would make a little bit more money. Truck companies would make a little bit more. The truck drivers would make a little bit more, and then there would be a little bit to cut down on the cost of goods too.
Because from my experience, when you go to, like, for example, if you want to ship a car onto a truck, there's like bids.
Yes.
And it all matters how much is there out there to
Yeah.
fill up the truck.
Right,
So would
so-
it be more difficult for them to fill the truck?
No, but think about it now. So for the driver, let's say, let's just use simple numbers. To make a trip from Miami to Atlanta, it costs $1,000 for with the gas and everything for the driver. That driver can fill up, with the current regulations, can fit 10 cars on the trailer. So 10 cars, he needs to at least $100 per car to make a profit, but not to break even, at least $100 per car. But now you extend the truck, it's gonna still cost, well, let's say like a cost of trucking goes down to 1,100, maybe a little more gas used. But instead of 10 cars, he can now fit in 15 cars. Or yeah, so the cost now goes to like what, 75-ish dollars, that he needs per truck, per car, from $100 to break even. So 75. So now he can charge you way less, those $25. He can split that. He takes $12.50, I take $12.50. So I save $12.50, he makes $12.50 more.
Because what I'm thinking is that the bigger the truck, the bigger the license you need to handle such truck.
Yeah, well, they will get licensed. Yeah, but that's that's just semantics, really. I feel like this is such a great idea.
Can I see the comments?
Yeah, I'm so surprised that nobody's talking about this. This is such an eye opener. It's crazy. I never heard
Because
about this.
I wonder what is the truck culture in Europe versus here in the States.
I don't feel like there is a truck culture. Like it's just a job. Where here there is a culture. Here it's a culture.
Because if you're on a truck talk on TikTok, they say there's some roads they don't want to take. There's roads that they prefer to take. Like going up north, they say it's awful. Like the roads are not ideal. So I can imagine like a big truck having to fill up for it to be practical, be a big deal.
As a young American, it's been my experience that America is more interested in the nostalgia of when we were the best than putting in effort and actually becoming. Yeah, that's true. The whole "Make America Great Again," not "Make America Great," period.
Because maybe if the American trucks want to be bigger, then I can understand. But I don't know if you could translate having the truckers switch over to the European trucks.
Like, okay, whatever, keep American truck, just allow them to haul more. Because like when we saw that little image from Australia, it was American truck that was hauling that train. So American trucks are capable of hauling the train.
I don't know why they don't choose to do so.
I'm from Europe and I drive trucks, and I think regulation should put a greater emphasis on axle loads, not just overall weight, since that is what destroys road surfaces. Okay, so he's basically saying we should have more axles on the trucks. Okay, that's easily achievable too. Americans will use any measure, even elephants, but won't use kilograms.
Yes.
Well, okay, to be fair, I didn't really get why we're using elephants, but at the same time, kilograms wouldn't really help anybody here in the States to understand that. So
I guess because they're assuming you have seen this big elephant before, so you know what a big elephant is. So imagine like 10 of them, okay? You understand it better.
God. Also, the brakes on the European trucks are considerably better. I've seen one stop in seconds when a child jumped out. They're really impressive. Okay. In Denmark, we already have trucks that are 34 meters in length. The only thing is that they're limited to the industrial air harbors and highways. Yeah, definitely limitations, not allowed in the cities, all that. I get it, but wow, what a great video. This was very,
Will
very
they
interesting.
compete with the train system? Because I know US, they spend money on developing the railroad system.
I mean,
that's why we have time zones.
But we already have the trucks. The graph showed the trucks are 65%. Trains is like below that. I don't know, 15% or something strange.
I don't know. There's
So-
something. There's a reason for why there's a hold up.
But there's not even a hold up. The people at the the truck show said
No
that nobody's
interest,
even
no
talking about it.
interest, but why?
I don't know. This is such an interesting subject. Wow. Huh.
Okay. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts over here. Like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.